Hey guys, Scott from aristocob.com here.
And Seth from theshrinkingpastor.com. I said it slower this time because someone said they couldn't ever hear me.
Together, the three of us, we are Markwood Men's Breakfast Club, and welcome back to yet another episode. Good morning, boy.
Good morning.
It is, okay, first off, let's explain the lighting in here. The last time we were in here, we had something weird happen with our overhead lights. And today when we came in, almost none of the lights are coming on. So I have an electrical problem, clearly. This building is old. It was built, I think it was built in the 1940s.
Jesus built it with his bare hands. It's old.
Yeah, and so anyway, I'm going to have to do some rewiring. At the very least, check all the fuses, because yes, there are fuses in this place. Anyway, the lighting is what it is today, and it's a little bit off. So welcome back. We just got back from vacation. We were in Denver.
We were every place.
And really everywhere. Yeah, we drove out to Denver, and then from Denver we went north up into Nebraska and Iowa, and we went through.
We started off in
Missouri,
Paducah, Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky, Illinois.
Made it to Ohio.
Indiana, Ohio.
You're just naming states now.
Alaska. West Virginia.
East Virginia.
Budapest. I was hungry at the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, good to be back. We had a really good time, but boy, getting back in your own bed sure feels good.
Yeah, Allison and I, we got an extra 10 days of travel on these guys, so we were gone for 23 days. Man, it's a little over 3 weeks. It was good. You know, Ender, our 2-year-old son, just did a phenomenal job, but we were all very happy to be home.
I wish for you a kid or grandkid as well-natured as Sarge when you travel, because he was just an absolute dream. The funniest moments was he would, in the back, very, very back of the minivan, my wife and I were up front, Seth and his wife were in the middle, Ender's in the back, and he would go, and just up and up and up and up, and finally he'd say, chew, just small little mousy chew. And, you know, after a while, the family was starting to get tired of it, and so Seth and Allison would say, don't you do it, don't you do it, chew. Well, we would stop responding, and what was really funny is at one point he started going, then he says, don't you do it. That brought the house down. Yeah. Anyway, along this trip, well, first off, I guess, I'm sorry, I'm really hot, and I'm scratchy and itchy. Sorry.
And glossy. But before we get to more of the trip, let's do some tobacco, because, you know.
Oh, you've got a YABO.
I do, man. I'm really excited.
Itching to have the YABO.
A few weeks ago, I got really, really jealous because someone came in here with a non-cob, with a Savinelli, a 320, and I just got jealous because one of the reasons why is because I know that he got it via a Groupon, that the company that sold it. What is that website?
B&B Tobacco.
Yeah, that they had a Groupon, and
I don't know. It may still be on.
Yeah, it might be, and if it is, well, so what happened is after shooting that video, almost 2 or 3 weeks later, I'm talking with Brother Boontar, and I say, yeah, you know, Dad has this Savinelli. I'm real jealous. He got it with that coupon, and he said, well, the coupon's still running. Really? So I get on, and sure enough, the coupon was still running a couple weeks ago, and if it still is, and you want a nice pipe, you should hop on there.
So yeah, for $25 you can get a $50 coupon. For $50 you can get a $100 coupon. Now to add some more irony to this, as is typical to us, Boy orders this pipe, and he says, "Hey, I ordered that pipe," and then there's silence on my end of the phone. Because right after I announced on Facebook that I had ordered the pipe, somebody sent me a message and said, you know, I've got a 320. It's just not for me. I will trade it for some corn cobs. And so I made that deal. So I have in this box a rusticated 320 that was going to be yours. Well, but now you have purchased your own. So
I have.
I smoked it a couple times, not the rusticated one. I smoked the other one a couple times. I found that, like so many others, I have to put a softy bit on that because I like to clench a pipe, and there is no way with as fat a stem as that thing has that you're going to be able to comfortably clench that. But when it's all said and done, I'm sorry, it doesn't smoke any better than a corn cob. Yeah. And a corn cob is light. I can clench those all day long. So I'm glad I own it.
Pretty.
But yeah, I just don't see myself smoking it very much.
So I went ahead and I got the $100 gift card. I paid $50 for that because the Savinellis are like $80 with shipping, and I was like, I could add to the $50 or probably find some tobacco or something. I didn't find any tobacco. They sell e-liquid. I wasn't interested in any of that. So I did get the pipe. Let's look at it. I'm really excited about this. Oh, it's like going back in time a few weeks.
I'm going to say it's awfully familiar.
Beautiful. That's awesome. I have always liked this design, so I'm very excited about that. And
that's because you've always liked the Morgan nose warmer.
I have, yeah. That's true. I also got...
I think we are going to call the Morgan nose warmer the 320.
Right.
I think we're just going to give it that distinction.
I also got an Eternity torch lighter because it was, I don't know, $15 and thought, yeah, I've got that. So my total came to like $99 with shipping and everything, so I didn't have to spend.
They didn't force you to spend $100?
No.
Oh, if you didn't spend it, you lost it. That was basically.
That's probably, probably, but I wasn't upset about that.
So you lost a penny.
What is this thing?
That should be a cigar punch. Watch it, you'll cut yourself.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a circular cigar punch. Actually, this is the Captain Nemo. Boop.
It does look like.
Boop. Boop.
So I'm gonna fill this up.
Careful, though, it's sharp.
Yeah, I won't use that, but
it probably has a little bit in it, just a smidgen, because they usually test them. Nope,
not even a smidgen.
So while he's loading that up, and in a minute we'll load his pipe up, I'm going to smoke something that I don't normally smoke, and this was a gift to me. Some Avanti cigars. Who gave me these? I forget who gave these to me. A bro worker at work. He smokes these. These are an American-made... Yes, a bro worker from work. These are an American-made cigar, and they're made in Pennsylvania. And the reason I'm going to smoke... And these are dry. That's what's weird about these cigars. They're not designed to be humidified. They're designed to be, I guess, shelf-stable, I guess you could call it. And they have an anise flavor, or a... licorice flavor, as we like to call it, a Sir Walter Raleigh flavor. And with the FDA deeming, which, by the way, if you missed your opportunity to comment on it, you've missed your opportunity to comment on it. These will probably go away. Why do I say that? Well, for one thing, it has a non-tobacco flavor, and that's supposed to be bad. It is licorice, which they would probably argue is a flavor that children like.
Yeah.
And if it stays around, it's going to be taxed at the same level as cigarettes, which will jack the price of these through the roof. So I'm going to smoke this cigar, kind of a bit of a swan song. Give me that lighter.
It's a three-prong lighter.
I don't know if you should even do this. Just light that puppy.
You get the job done. Not even close. There you go.
Just so you guys know, I do not like licorice.
I want one of those.
Or anise.
I'm going to smoke this later. I know to do a YABO of a new pipe and then not smoke weird, but solidarity. For a thing that I won't enjoy smoking today. Oh, it smells terrible. It smells like...
But it only smells terrible because it tastes terrible. Other than that...
Have you ever lit like a spider web on fire or
with hairspray and a lighter?
Yeah, yeah, it smells like moldy, musky. You know what? I changed my mind. I'm screw solidarity.
You talked yourself out of it.
Pipe it is.
Okay, you do that. Let's talk a little bit about our vacation and why this matters to you guys.
Old Park. Thank you, Caps.
Alt Park from Cincinnati area pipe smokers. Cincinnati, is that right? Pipe smokers.
Yeah, I think so.
Society.
One of those.
Anyway,
we should know by now.
We were thinking about you, and not the Cincinnati area pipe whoever's, but about you, our friend and
Viewers
partner in
like
crime, as we were taking our vacation, and as we stopped at a number of tourist traps, we bought something just for you. We were thinking about you. We went to the Arch in St. Louis. None of us had actually been up in the Arch before, so we decided to go ahead and do that. Boy, why don't you tell them about that?
So, St. Louis Arch.
How's it work, first off? How's the Arch work?
It was built out of concrete, and I'm sure there's other stuff on the inside that keeps it from falling down. Yeah.
Twigs.
Base, paper mache mostly. It's pretty cool, the design. It much like a suspension or a bridge. It's got two sides that come up and meet in a point at the keystone.
It actually mimics the arches of the bridge that was the first to span the Mississippi there. So that's kind of what inspired it.
And so it's
600 and some odd feet at the
like 630 some
at the apex.
And it can withstand winds up to 90 miles an hour, I think. So it's actually designed for really heavy duty winds. But they try not to. He said it can sway something like 15 feet and not
if necessary.
Yeah. Which is double most skyscrapers. And so you go in and you buy a ticket for a trolley ride up to the top, and it's a suspension cable car, and it's counterbalanced, so it's kind of like riding on a carousel almost, but you're going straight up.
It's basically an elevator with a bunch of round pods connected to one another. It looks like a centipede. Inside of that,
sure.
What did I ask you to explain?
Inside of the spire. It's talking about the cars. The cars are counterweighted, so as you go up the arch, if it was just like a centipede, by the time you got to here, you'd be sideways. So the cars tilt and swing so that they're always facing down.
And in fact, they load you this direction. So you're here, and then that goes up and around.
So you're pivoting. The car's pivoting
a lot of rotating of those cars.
So we walk up to the doors, and we had a little bit of a... They have a sample car that you can look at, and we kind of saw it at a distance, and our eyes got wide. But
you got to be kidding me.
But we get up to the door, and the door starts 1 foot off the ground. It's a foot off the ground, and the door itself is 4 feet tall. I'm almost double that. And it is exactly this wide. So
remember that scene from Ace Ventura 2 when Ace Ventura was coming out of the rhinoceros? That's what Boy looked
in
like
reverse, right? So turtling all the way down.
Like a rhinoceros gynecologist.
To kind of squeeze in here this way. Okay. And inside
be a rhinocologist, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Inside the car are 5 seats. There are 2 seats facing each other,
kinda.
And then 1 seat that's facing out towards the door. And so you're supposed to fit 5 pairs of knees around this like 2 foot by 3 foot space.
And there were 4 of us adults and
no. There are 4 Markwood adults. There are 3 Markwood adults. My wife, who's a little bit of nothing.
She's teeny.
And Ender. Thank goodness we have Ender, because they sell the tickets expecting there to be 5 people on this thing.
Right.
We were able to count Ender as a person.
They were passing around numbers for every 5 people that were there, and that would represent the car you're supposed to get into. And we suggested, well, perhaps we get into different cars. And the guy clarified to us that there will be 5 people in every pod. And we looked around, and you know what? We're all Midwesterners. Seth wasn't even the biggest guy standing in line. So anyway, we just went ahead and did it. And it was surprising once we got in. It was like getting into a dryer. A laundry dryer.
I was sitting like this because I was right up against the wall. Curves up. Again, thankfully we had Ender there because our 4 knees were touching, and there was no space for a 5th person. We were, unless that 5th person was standing on that 5th seat like Ender was. So it's a 4-minute ride up to the top. You tumble out at the top.
You go upstairs from that point.
Yeah.
And then that leads to a big open hallway that's on an arch, right?
Yeah, to a walkway. Now, if you've ever seen, like, James Bond, where they're hanging under the bridge on a single beam and they're having to fight, it was kind of like that. Because you get up into this walkway area with 100 people, and it is 8 feet...
Not even 8
7
feet.
feet wide.
At the floor, the base where your feet are, which would be the floor... 7 something, so let's say 8 feet wide, but then the walls angled out, and then there were windows that looked down, so you could actually lean out over and look straight down. I took a picture with my panoramic setting on my iPhone, with my camera setting looking face down, and then panned up. So I got one viewing east and one viewing west. Posted those over on Facebook. Once you look down for a minute or two, it starts to dawn on you that
wow, I'm looking at the ground.
I could die if this thing failed. Some of the people, just the way they smelled, that could kill me up there. It was not a comfortable place to be.
And I mean, it's cool for it's like riding on an airplane, sitting at the window seat. It's interesting for like 2 minutes, and then it all just looks like ground
because that airplane's not moving.
Right? Yeah.
Once you take it in,
right.
It
I was like, okay.
Took.
That's cool. And so the trams take 15 minutes to get to the top, load up, come to the bottom, and back to the top.
4 minutes to get.
And so it's a 15-minute round trip.
Right.
So you're waiting 15 minutes for the next ride down. And we had to wait that full time to get our stuff because we had to put our stroller at that side of the.
So we had to come down the same side.
Right. So we had to wait even longer. They alternate the times, so it helps a little bit with the flow of traffic. So I looked around for 5 minutes and then I got back in line and just waited for the family to finish up. And they did. We rode it back down. Thankfully, we were able to cram back in there a second time, and made it out alive. It was an adventure. And then one of the worst parts, you get to the gift shop, and as you're in line, they take your picture, and then you can check out your picture at the gift shop. They have it. Tell them about the backdrop.
Well, when they ask you, first off, stand back for a second. You don't know why they're asking to stand back, and then all of a sudden, the lady's going, click, 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 thank you, move on. So I had no idea what was going on, so it was the world's worst picture.
Oh, hey, hang on.
World's worst picture of me, which is hard to accomplish because I've taken some really bad pictures. But the backdrop was a concrete wall. Yeah. So, come on. We
really
could have picked a much better.
Really screams you're in St. Louis at the tower. And so what they do is they take that picture and they put it on a really cheesy, crappy back matting.
Cartoony.
Yeah, with like flowers and birds and all sorts of things about St. Louis that it just...
Probably Cardinals.
I could have done better in Photoshop in 5 minutes. And it comes with 2 magnets and they're selling those for $20. We're like, no thanks.
No. So we went into the gift shop and bought ourselves something, and we bought something for you. But more on that in a minute.
One of the things in the gift shop that we didn't buy because it's too expensive, but it's awesome, they have executive desktop towers, the arch, but they're built from wires that are actually used in the structure.
The suspension of the structure.
So it's just a single wire, a strand of wire that's bent over and coated. Looks just beautiful.
It's really cool.
But it was like $60.
So we're going to probably check on eBay and find one for $14.
There we go.
While we were there, we were looking, and my wife was looking at a book, and she thought, oh, this book would be so great to have for Ender, and we could read the story for Ender. And I'm looking at this book, and it's like a 12-page kid's book, and they wanted something like $20. So I stepped aside, and I pulled up Amazon on my phone and went, purchase that. It was waiting for us when we got home from our trip. We're just the kind of people that they love.
I've been to some bookstores where they will kick you out.
Yeah, oh yeah.
If you're doing that, there's a used bookstore in town that does that they won't let you use your phone basically in their store because they don't want you price checking.
The nuggies are tough. Noogies are tough. Anyway, a lot more stuff happened on our vacation. I think we're going to tell you a little bit more about that in our next episode. But we have something we want to share with you right now. And that is, we collected things along the way. Places that we stopped, like I said, for you. But we realized that with now 550 subscribers, we didn't have that much room in our minivan for all of you. So we are going to select a random you. Well, not the random you, right?
It's not random.
We decided we'd do.
I'm picking. I'm picking. This is a contest.
So we had along with us a little mascot, and our mascot is unnamed. And here he is.
Found just the coolest nerdy
gnome
at a gas station randomly.
What are the details of that?
Of the gnome?
Yeah. What does he got down
here? So
it
has a D20, which anyone who's played a 20-sided die, which is very common if you play Dungeons and Dragons or any other role-playing game on pen and paper. A sword, of course. He has an atom on his shirt. It's probably hard to see. A cloak, which could be from anything. An epic beard and glasses. And then the live long and prosper. He's awesome. They call him Beardo. I'm not too impressed by that because I know a lot of Beardos. So I want you guys to help me come up with a new name for our mascot. We took some pictures of him with him on our trip, and we'll show you those later. But write your favorite name or names.
Are we looking for this to be Mark Woodman's Breakfast Club inspired, or Pipes inspired, or what?
Whatever tickles your fancy. I have a nerdy gnome that needs a name.
He's a nameless nerdy gnome.
Name my nerdy gnome. That's .com. Hey, lights came on. It's weird. And so I'm gonna pick my favorite name. It's gonna be totally.
Where are we going to announce that? We're gonna shoot a quick, maybe a supplemental video somewhere over the course of the next week or so.
I don't know. Maybe you want to do that.
Well, I don't want
to next week.
No, I don't want to announce it next week because next week we might film in about 5 minutes.
That's good. Yeah,
we'll do a supplemental video.
I'm gonna be choosing a winner in a week, and then we'll announce it sometime after that. Okay, so you have 7 days from today. So next Wednesday is the last day that you can submit names for my nerdy gnome. Name my nerdy gnome, and we'll be sending you a bunch of Mark Men's breakfast crap.
And what will they see from us on Friday?
Probably nothing.
Nothing. Experiment over.
Yeah. We have come home and on the road got really tired of having to edit 2 videos, annotate 2 videos. And near the end, as some of you noticed, each of the videos was about as long as this one. So it really wasn't a benefit at all. Now, I know that there's some of you that were on the fence. Some of you really liked the 2 videos.
Those tend to be the people that waited to watch them both on Saturday.
Right. And so what I would recommend, we are still going to be annotating the video. I know you can't see those on mobile, but on mobile you can still access the links to the minutes in the video. So fast forward. If there's something that's going to pique your interest that we're not doing it right this minute, fast forward. It's okay. And so we're doing what we think is going to be best for us at this point, and it was just awkward. Thank you for the kind words, but it was really awkward. It was awkward. It was awkward to film. It was awkward to watch. So
it's hard enough for us to know that we have to perhaps shoot a few videos while we're together, and spread them out partially because of my work travel, but for other reasons, it's just hard to get together. That's awkward enough. But to have to decide, okay, at what point in this, what we would normally talk about, are we going to cut, put an ending, and then do a new introduction? That was wasting time.
And the other thing is, we had instances, there are twice as many opportunities for me to screw up as an editor. This last week's video, I accidentally uploaded the wrong video that he's not annotating until late the night before, so I had to go back, re-edit, upload again, and he had to get up early to edit.
Before it went live.
It's just
on
extra
a vacation day.
That's right. I'm sorry.
All right. So before we end this, what do you think of your pipe and your new tobacco?
I like my pipe.
Did you even smoke it?
Yeah, I smoked it. I think you're right. I want to get a rubber bit. I have one. I just don't have it with me. to bite a little bit because it's awkward.
It needs to
it's
be
a little awkward
a softie.
width too to do that. To hold over here, especially without something rubber.
Yeah, you'll find
It's
there's
so
only
flat.
a spot or two in your face hole that you can even hold that. So.
And this is one of them, and he always criticizes me for doing this.
I do not like the looks of that.
It looks goofy.
Okay, in my opinion of these, I will not miss them if they go away. What's weird though,
You
is
hear
I've
that,
set
FDA?
I've set this down, then I've picked it up a few times, and I think that's more out of habit than anything else.
Yeah, and yeah. Maybe I'll smoke one of those next week.
It's not my taste.
I probably won't. It doesn't smell like I will.
I think you should try it.
All right.
All right, so thanks for watching. We'll see you all next week, and don't forget to give us your entry. Make that a comment.
Name my gnome
on this video. All right, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye, guys.
I think I said that already. See you again next week.
See you next week.
Make it a great week.
Again. Name my gnome. Goodbye.